everybody, and welcome back at Adobe Live. I'm your host Kladi, and I'm here with you for a brand new challenge in Illustrator. Today we're going to be taking care of foundation, so how to use Illustrator. And of course, I want to welcome everybody that is here in the chat with us. I wanted to say hello to everybody that is taking the time here on Behance to connect with the wonderful community. I'm actually going to refresh my page so I can see you all here, and I can see Jack, Robert, Cody, sorry, Steve in the chat. I'm just getting excited. It's also 7:30 p.m. here in the UK. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you. Hello to all of you that are joining also from the wonderful Creative Cloud YouTube channel. We're always very excited to be here together. But let's get started. As I say, today we're diving in Illustrator Foundation. We will be showing, and I will be showing you how to create your very own template for social media, in specific for Instagram, with all the brand new sizes, so you can ever ready to go for your project and use it over and over again. And you can forget about all these numbers and you have a template. So not only I'm going to show you how to use artboard and then how to create template layers and how to export the Illustrator file as a template, which is really exciting. So those are foundation on how to use the app. No design skills required. We're actually here to sharpen our techniques. So let's open up Illustrator and let's dive into today's challenge. And don't forget that you can simply click on the link located below the description in order to join and have access to the wonderful starter file. So the starter file looks just like so. Let me hop into my computer so you can see it. And by the way, let me make sure that I have this page open as well, because I really wanted to show you there is another brand new show on how to, which has a full hour on the same topic. So I'm going to show you that as well once we dive into today's project. So here we go. If you opened up the Illustrator file, by the way, this is available on a replay. Hello to everybody that is actually watching this on a replay. You can, work with me right now if you're following the live, or you can grab a glass of water, go ahead, relax, and then you can watch this in your own time and make it happen later. Hello from Germany. Hi, Ben. Lovely to see you. Richard, guten Tag. Hi, Rob. Carl, nice to see you. Carol is saying I created a QR code on my website and added a little Pearl logo to it in InDesign and Illustrator. Fantastic. I love to see when you guys really get your creative juice going. But let's go ahead and get started. Let me know, as usual, where are you watching from? Where are you joining in from? I'm an Italian designer based in Manchester, UK, and that's where I'm streaming from today. So let's go ahead and dive into today's starter file. As you can see, we have this file which has already all the information you need, and I wrote it down because I tend to forget them myself. So they're there, and we're going to use them today to create the actual template. So that's all you need. Basically, we're going to need this, and then we're going to delete it because we're not going to need it anymore. If you want, you can leave it there. Actually, there is see two different layers. As I said, I repeat this all the time, but I think it's really important. Again, today we're diving into foundations, and you can go ahead and have a look at the layers. So whenever you download a template or a file that is being provided by someone else, I would strongly recommend you to look at the structure of the file, because that's where you get the information. Usually good templates and good starter files have a lot of information that you can save, that you can hide, and layers is the place to go. Layers, as you probably already know, are containers that allow you to control the content of your document. In particular, you can hide and show or lock certain items. In this case, everything that I provided here are images, so they're locked. As you can see, we have a little lock icon. If you go ahead and hide by clicking on the eye icon, all the sizes go away. So that is the final result of our document. Our template should look like something like this. And then we have the samples. Now, as you can see, this is an artboard, and that's the first thing that I want to show you how to change, because we're gonna be able, once I hide this, I want everything to go away. The first thing that I'm going to do is first to create at least one artboard, because we do need to have at least one artboard inside Illustrator. So I'm going to go ahead and unlock the layer where it says sample. So as you can see, everything becomes editable here. And then I'm going to go ahead and just create an artboard. It doesn't matter the size at the moment. I'm just creating an artboard on the side to have it there, so we can have a little bit of a play with this artboard number 1, which I'm going to in fact select. And then once I select the artboard, I'm going to press on the delete key in order to delete it. Then I'm going to press the letter M on the keyboard in order to create a rectangle. You can press the letter D to activate the default color, which is a white background, sorry, white fill with a black stroke. Then to make sure that this is behind our assets, you can use the shortcut Command Shift left bracket. This would allow to bring any shape, any sort of assets that you have below and behind the assets that you have. So this is the shortcut. But what if you just want to draw something behind? Let me actually, since we're diving into foundation, I think that that's a very underestimated tool, which is so useful, which is the draw behind. If we go ahead and we jump in, let me zoom in so you can see it, into drawing modes, which is right there above my head. It's like a circle with a square. Let me move my my little finger there. So if you click on that drawing mode, you can decide to draw behind. This is so cool. So whenever you draw or create something, it's literally gonna go behind. It's gonna keep going behind. Like, it's so amazing. You don't have to worry about reorganizing things. Now, the reason why I'm using a shape instead of an artboard is that now I can lock the shape, and I believe the shortcut is Command 2. That will be Control 2 if you're working on a Windows machine. And of course, you can also find it under the object menu, lock and lock selection. So our artboard there, like our shape that works like an artboard, is the one that we have selected. We can see the blue outline on the bounding box. And then again, Command 2 or Control 2 if you're working on a Windows machine in order to lock it. And as you can see, now it's locked. So it's like a little artboard that is still sitting there and providing the same background that we needed for our sample. But look what happens. Once we go ahead and hide these layers, we do not see anything. Before, if you remember, because it was an artboard, as you can see here, artboard are always visible. Whenever artboard are not an element, a vector element that can be hidden. They're always visible. So what you can do in order to hide them is to use simple rectangle like we did. So that's the first tip already there, ready for you. And then I'm going to show you now how to create an artboard and how to resize it and how to create the template and move forward. And then another trick, because we already have access here to these shapes, there is another trick in which you can create an artboard, which is the shapes of a specific template. Actually, let's do that first, because I think that's a little bit quicker so we can get it out of the way. So if we actually select the artboard tool, which is again located at the bottom of the toolbar, located at the left of your workspace, again is there just above my head. Oops, on the other side, here it is. It looked like a square with the little angle pointing out. Let me see if there is any question in the chat. I can see everybody saying hello. We have Richard, Steve, Leeds. Everybody's saying hi. Hi from London, from Boston. Amazing. Is this the challenge for today? Yes, Liz, is the challenge for today. We're diving into Illustrator Foundation and learning how to create templates to use for your social media, and in particular for your Instagram. Laura, happy Friday. Lovely to see you. Fantastic. So perfect. Looks like there is no question. Everybody's just chilling, enjoying their Friday, and hopefully enjoy the stream. So as I was saying, if you go ahead and select the artboard tool, by the way, here it is, artboard tool, that's the name. I'm just sitting behind it. All you have to do is to click on it, and then if you have a shape that is available here, remember, if your layer is locked, you will not be able to do this. So make sure to go ahead and click on the lock icon on the layers in order to unlock it, and then you can simply click on an item. In this case, it got all these items because that means that those are grouped. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this artboard, press real quick on the V key, and as I said, it was easy to spot these items are grouped. In order to ungroup them, we can use the shortcut Shift Command G. There will be Shift Control G, of course, if you're working on a Windows machine, and by doing so, you will see that we ungroup them. I'm gonna have to do that one more time until I get left with that size, which is actually the template that I wanted for Instagram. Now we can do that because I made this for you. So we're gonna leverage the power of having a starter file. Again, Shift O or click the little icon for the artboard tool and then simply go ahead and click on the item that you wish to create an artboard for. And look what happened. Whenever you click on a specific item that you have selected, as we've seen before, if we have grouped items, grouped object, the entire group will be part of the artboard, which is really cool because sometimes you have something that is made by different tool. But in this case, what we're going to do is simply just select this single area here. And then look what happens. When we create the artboard and we move it away, is actually said, hey, by the way, everything's going to be moved besides if something that is hidden or locked, which in my case, I can see it right away that the sizes are locked and hidden, so we won't be able to move them. We can just say okay if we don't want the sizes, but of course, as you can see, we left the sizes behind, which is completely fine for now. But right now you have a full new artboard with all the assets for your social media story, which is pretty much ready to go. So in theory, if you want to take the really shortcut, you can use the template that I provided with you with the artboard tool and simply go ahead and make sure that the visibility is on. And with the artboard tool, click on each single one of these items here in order to create an artboard that will fit perfectly, and it will have the perfect size for your Instagram assets. Or if you want to start from scratch, I want to show you, of course, how to do that. And that's the reason why I've set up these sizes there, so you can have a better idea. Now, before we move forward, since we already created the first artboard, I'm going to go ahead and press the enter return key with the artboard selected. And we have this little panel here called artboard options. I like to zoom in so you guys can really see what's going on. And I'm going to move my time so I can see where we're at, because I'm always never have enough time when we have fun here. Bill is saying Brooklyn is popping. How's things in Brooklyn? Who's in Brooklyn? I'm so excited. I'm on the passport side of the bridge. I'm so excited to see Ottawa as well. So cool. I love our international community. And I will be in LA for Adobe Max, by the way. Let me know if any of you are coming at Adobe Max, or if you're watching the live, which is free, so you have both options. I will be both. I will have 2 sessions, 3 sessions at Adobe Max in LA, and I have 1 session at Adobe Max online. I think it's already time to start scheduling. There is so much wonderful content coming up. Anyway, we are here in the artboard options, and we're going to go ahead and start to type in the name of the artboard. So the very first one that we did was Instagram story. So I'm going to go ahead and just write EG or Instagram, whatever you want, story. If you want, as a reminder, if you wish to delete all the little numbers that I've done there, you can just write the 1080 by 1920, which is the size of our document. Actually, it looks like it was 1 pixel too large, which we can fix there. 1080 by 1920. Here it is. That's a good catch. And then that's another secret. I'm dropping like pro tips in this challenge. If you want to make sure, if you ever have an issue with some website, whenever you're uploading or placing somewhere some images that have to be right to the pixel. I don't know if it ever happened to you. It happened to me a ton of time, way too many times. And I know for sure that I go there, my width and my height are exactly the same size. I know that they're perfect, but still it doesn't let me upload it because the website says that it's the wrong size. Well, there is a little glitch that can happen when the positioning of your item as some decimal number, like in this case. So these values got nothing to do with the size of your artboard, but they have everything to do with the positioning of your artboard inside the pasteboard in Illustrator. And because everything is made by vector points or grids, which are invisible to our eyes and are made by pixels, sometimes if our artboard falls nearly, like here is 0.97, it tends, when we export it, to add a pixels to our design. It never gives a pixels less. You always try to add a pixels when you export it. So in this case, all you have to do is to come here into the positions, so the X and the Y value of the position of your artboard, and then delete these values. Once you press on OK, the difference, it won't be noticeable for you because those are decimal over pixels. But when you will export it, you will have no issue whatsoever because you're going to be certain that everything is going to be ready and spot on. By the way, let me know in chat if that ever happened to you, because it did happen to me, that I know that I was exporting something and it wasn't the right size, and I just literally wasted a full day to research what happened. So here we go, you have it there now, solved. Now, in order to create the other template, all we have to do is we're going to leverage the sizes that I placed there. And by the way, a little note here, because I've also created these other sizes, which is 965 by 1653. Those are not the resolution of the final image, but this is this red line that you have there, and this is just to avoid everything like, you know, your Instagram image, your Instagram name, and whatever everything else goes at the bottom in terms of details. This is the safe area, the web safe area for your content. So perhaps if you have some text, or if you want to write like a link, make sure not to write it above or below this area here, and that's actually where the X is inside your Instagram. Perfect. Press the letter V to exit the artboard tool, and let's go ahead and let's have fun and create this other cover, in this case for our reels. So I'm going to go ahead again and select my artboard tool. Shift O is the shortcut, and I'm going to click and drag on this artboard that I created before. And now there are different options in which you can edit your artboard. Like we did before, press the letter, press return or the enter key if you're watching or working on a Windows machine, or from the properties panel, which if you do not see into your workspace, you can find under the window menu. So choose window and then properties to have the properties panel pop up. Here we have the same, the X and the value are referencing the positioning, and I'm going to zoom in and go down here so we can all see what we're doing. So again, I'm going to get rid of this decimal for the same reason that I mentioned before, and then I'm going to make sure that again here we have a 1080 by 1920, which is again the resolution of a mobile, which is a vertical size, and then we're going to press the return key. And then here we're going to press return again to name the artboard. I'm going to call this one EG reel cover. By the way, name your artboard. Your future self is going to be so thankful to you, because once you export your artboard, and here I'm going to go ahead and move actually my artboard down, and as you can see, once I move it, this little value here, oops, this little value here change again. So again, you want to make sure to delete the decimal point like we did before. Perfect. So we have this other item here, and again, if you want, you can simply use whatever I created for you in terms of a template. Then I'm going to show you some magic with it as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and lock sizes, because we do not need the sizes, and you can use everything as I that I provided for you. Maybe we're going to ungroup it so we do not need the label on top, and we can simply place it on top of our artboard. Head to the properties panel and make sure that you align to artboard, and then align horizontally and vertically to make sure that it is aligned to the actual artboard and it fits. Select your artboard first, here we go, and then you can align it. Now, if you see this specific red area here, is not only the area that is the safe. I'm actually going to add another one by pressing the letter M. This is the new size that Instagram is testing, and that's when I was referring to the other stream, how to, which you can find on a replay. If you put how to Kladi on YouTube, you will be able to find all the stream. I also have a page on my website, imkladi.com/how-to. Graphic design is a show here that we have on Adobe Live that I'm really happy to present. There is a full stream, and also I think if you go to my resources, there are more freebies here regarding, here we go, social media campaigns. So you can find more there on the stream, and also of course on the actual video. But those are some testing size that Instagram is creating. So let me see if I get the size correctly. I believe is the 1080 by 1350. So that's a new size that is displayed not on every website, not of every app, but Instagram is testing it to see how it works, to have this different content. And of course is this taller one here, so 1080 by 1350. So what I'm going to do here is to click and drag to create my rectangle, and then like I've done before, I can change its size. So is 1080, which is the width, by 1350. And then we can place that on top of my reel, because if you ever want to set your reel, oops, I'm still drawing below. That's what happened. And don't forget to change your drawing modes. They're really nice when you work with them, but in this case I'm gonna have to set it back to normal because otherwise it was keeping to draw below. So place that on top to work as a guide. You can choose any color you want. I tend to usually give it a stroke. Use the shortcut Shift X to swap in between the stroke to change the color from the fill to the stroke, and then you can give the stroke whatever thickness you want, and then you make sure that the stroke is aligned to the actual inside, so we kept inside the artboard. Perfect. And this is the safe area, so this is what is going to display on the cover. Maybe we can make it like a fun color that we can actually see. Yellow. Perfect. So on, you can go ahead and start creating your artboard. So basically each single one of these image you can transform in one single artboard. Now, because we just have a few minutes left, I'm just going to keep it simple. And as I did before, just please just simply click on top of the artboard, making sure first that I ungroup all these assets because I do not need the label. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can simply do that if you have access to the starter file. Click once and then you can move the artboard, and then of course press enter, and this is the EG live background and so on. Now, before we keep going, again, make sure that you delete this decimal there so you got the right positioning and the right size. Of course, you can keep doing that for the post and so on. Maybe I'm just going to do this last one here and place it. And the rest is a carousel, which is basically a simple Instagram post, but one next to each other. So let's see if we actually can probably make it happen if we just ungroup it first. I'm just a little bit concerned about time, but we can do it. So make sure to select just one at a time, and then with your artboard tool, we should be able to create an artboard just for this single file. Perfect. And then maybe we can create another one and another one more and one more. Perfect. All the things that I'm going to skip here is to actually go ahead and rename each one of those, but I will definitely rename them carousel 01, 02, 03, 04, and so on. Now I can pretty much go ahead from my object menu where I locked before and unlocked all elements. That's also available with the Option Command 2. There will be Alt Control 2 if you're working on a Windows machine. And by doing so, I can literally go ahead and delete all this information that I didn't want. I'm actually gonna go ahead and delete all the sizes because we don't need it anymore, and perhaps this label as well that we don't need. You can go ahead and move your artboard anywhere you want, but what I want to show you here is that if we now press Command S and we go to save our file, let's actually go ahead and press Shift Command S to create a copy of our file. You can save it to your Creative Cloud to have access to all the benefits of working offline, syncing to all your devices, and auto-saving every change, have access to the edits, and also invite for review and edit. Those are just some of the amazing options that you have by saving on the cloud, or you can save it anywhere you want. In this case, I'm going to drop it on my desktop. And you either have the option here to choose the template. So from the drop down menu, choose the format that is .ait Illustrator template file. Or if you want to keep it simple and save it as an AI, I'm just going to go ahead and press on OK here, then head to my little desktop. And you can see that we have our file. Here it is, .ai, and then you can always, I don't know if you know that, another pro tip that I'm throwing today here, we're really diving into these foundations, you can add a letter T. So if you add the letter T, you automatically transform your file into a template. I'm gonna go ahead and say, yes, let's use it as a template. Now, the difference is that whenever we open a file as a template, as you can see the difference between, this first file is that it's got a name, and we know, and every time that we make a change and we save it. So I'm just going to go ahead and make something ridiculous because I have like a minute left. So I'm going to go ahead and create this big black square. Let's imagine that that's the big change, and I'm going to press save. Now this file, every time that I open it, every change that I make is going to be there. But what if I, on this untitled document, do the same thing? So I just draw a shape and save it. And again, I'm going to save it and call it social one. So remember, this is the file that we just opened from the template, and I'm going to go ahead and save it on my desktop. Now, if I go back to my template and open it again, look at the magic here. It will open up as a new untitled document, which is left exactly in the same place where we left it before. So you have the chance to reuse this file as many times as you want, save it as a new version, and you always will have access to the original templates with the sizes ready to go. So you work once and then you're set for life with your document. Very last thing before we go, you can also set a layer as a template. Simply select the layer and use it as a template by going to the flyout menu and select template. You can always untick that, but the beauty of that, as you can see, is that it reduces transparency and it locks the items by themselves. A lot of pro foundation tips really for you to take advantage of Illustrator. You can use all these tips in any of your documents, but this was specific for your Instagram social media campaign. I really hope that you enjoyed this stream and this challenge. I look forward to see your work on the Discord channel. Unfortunately, it is time for me to say goodbye. There is Miss Kladi, thank you so much. There is our lovely Jason Levine coming with some premiere masterclass. I'm gonna watch that, but unfortunately, it's time to say goodbye and leave some space to the amazing Adobe Evangelist for the masterclasses on today's Friday. Stay tuned on Adobe Live. Go and grab a glass of water, and is a bye-bye for me today. I'll see you next week. Bye.